Morning Buzz Live. Our next guest is world famous for his role as Jack Bauer on 24, and he made his debut on Broadway in that championship season. Please welcome Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you for coming in. I actually went and saw the play.
Oh,
it's
great.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
It brings you totally back to that Mad Men days.
Yes.
It's got that whole just bunch of guys in great suits drinking a lot.
Yes, it was, for me, it's actually a timeless play. I think it deals with everything from midlife crisis to unrealized lives. Friends that have been together for a long time realize they can't even leave each other, that feeling that you're stuck. And with that, there is actually a lot of humor, even though some of it is dark. So those contrasts have been a wonderful thing to play.
The guys in the play are Jason Patrick, you've known him.
Chris Noth, Jim Gaffigan, Brian Cox, who is, you know, the lion of our play. Well, for me, 4 fantastic actors that I get to work with.
We'll call it 5.
And we've just had the best time. I think it's as much work as that we have all put into the play. I've always felt guilty about in the evening how much fun we've had together. And
I was just going to say, because as you guys were exiting the stage, full house of standing ovation, you got, like, Jason's ripping off his coat. You guys all looked like you were just headed to the bar. Like, you guys all just play together after the shows.
Well, it's one of those things that I think, especially with an ensemble like this, where they're really truly 5 equal parts, and we rely on each other in such a way that we have found that the more time we spend together, whether it's in a bar or an actual restaurant, that seems to really impact the performances for the next few days. And so we've made a real effort to spend as much time together as we can. And also, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm lying here. We've had an amazing time. We enjoy it. We enjoy it. So it's not just for the work. We've actually had a lot of fun.
Well, you can tell. I can see it.
Good.
So the difference now between doing something live on stage and doing, like, all the action sequences.
Well, I've done a lot of theater before. I just have never worked in New York on Broadway.
Right. Okay. But how do you feel about doing, like, live theater stuff versus, like, all the action stuff on 24?
Well,
which one's harder?
They're completely different. It's night and day. Both of them will make you nervous. You know, if you're standing on the ledge of a building and a truck is driving by and you're supposed to jump in the truck, something would be wrong with you if your nerves and your adrenaline didn't get a little pumped up. You know, every night, we've done over 120 some odd shows with that championship season, and every night it doesn't get any easier. I am as concerned about the 125th show as I am the first show, because you're in front of 1,100 people. So all of those things matter, and different set of nerves, but nerves nonetheless.
Has there ever been a time where you just flubbed everything and just go,
No, it hasn't happened to me, but there have been moments where I have felt anxiety about a moment coming up, and I've had to very quickly correct something that I was doing. So I'm hypersensitive and hyper-aware in those moments. And then there are nights when it just flows beautifully, and you go, well, why can't it be that easy every night?
Because it's real life happening every day.
Yeah.
Now, we've been hearing rumors, there's been talk about this 24 movie coming out. What is going on?
It is slated for the summer of 2012.
Excellent.
Which means we have to start shooting it quite soon. We've had such fantastic writing over the course of the 8 seasons of 24 that it's very difficult to try and take a 2-hour idea and kind of have the same impact that we've had. And we've had difficulty with that, and we'll be honest about that. But we're getting now to a place where we're starting to get very excited. And so it's something that I can't wait to do. And for the people out there that have asked about it, thank you very much for the support.
Well, now that it's going to be like a 2.5-hour film, we're assuming, will there be
under
time?
2, but yeah.
2-hour film. Will there finally be time for Jack to pee? Will that happen?
No, I think we will still probably cut to something else more exciting than that.
The White House.
Yeah. But you might get to watch him eat.
Oh, good. Yeah. You might actually just have a little snack in between while killing people. I like that. Now, we also know that you're a huge music fan, and I didn't know this, but you have a guitar named after you. A Les Paul.
Well, I worked with I worked with a friend of mine, Mark. We had a small record label called Ironworks, and I had a Gibson guitar collection that was quite special, actually. For those of you who can't play really well, you collect guitars, you know, and so I fell into that category. And I had great friends that played great, beautiful guitar player friends, and that never had any money, so I would collect the guitars and then they would borrow them from me. And
that's a good way to have the band, like always just at your house.
Just have them
just
hanging
come over
out
and play my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite guitarist?
You know, that's almost an impossible question. It goes from, you know, Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple to Jimmy Page. I think Peter Frampton is an unbelievably underrated guitar player. I think he's just an amazing guitar player. John Mayer, I think, is one of the most impressive guitar players. I mean, in the kind of milieu of the Duane Allmans and that, I think John Mayer is a phenomenal player as well.
I agree. Now I want to see you play now.
Yeah.
Pling! Now you also have
a little better than that, but not much.
You have a web series that came out that I watched called The Confession, which I think is probably the best thing on the web, I have to say. People have to watch this thing. How did you get all of that together? And like, what do you think it gets more attention because it's on the web, or?
Well, I'm probably the last person I know that doesn't have a computer.
Kiefer!
And so I was actually, and two of my really great friends of mine are in the computer world. This is how they make their living, and one is working with the internet, and the other is developing new technology for computers. And they were having dinner with someone who produced internet films and internet things like that. And they were talking to me about the challenges that they were facing, and they were talking about the potential scopes of audiences. And I mean, you don't need a computer to realize that the internet is the single largest audience in the world, and at some point something is going to happen that's going to galvanize the audience, where they're going to start talking in the numbers of billions as opposed to millions.
Yes.
And I think one of the keys to starting that is raising the level of production. And by that I mean that you don't shoot it on a flip camera, that you actually shoot it with proper cameras, that you actually have dolly moves and things like that, and that it starts to represent something that looks like a real movie to someone. Because the internet right now, there is no rating system. You are completely artistically free.
Right.
And I think it is a fantastic place for filmmakers and storytellers to be able to go and make product.
I agree. Well, make sure you guys get out and watch that online. Plus, that championship season with Kiefer Sutherland is on Broadway until May 29th, so you have to get there soon. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so much for having us. We'll see you again.